Peep Game. Juni Cortez has been the top agent at OSS for years, but he turns heel on some Agent 47 type shit and decides to become a private investigator, a freelancer of sorts, where he makes absolutely no bangs. What little money he did make, he saved in his nut-ass piggy bank, and he almost donates it to charity, till he hears that the game that he was just about to buy has a cash prize for beating the last level, and that shit was so enticing he had to cut the line to acquire the game. But Big Dog obviously don't play that shit, and he legitimately gets pressed by a 6-year-old.
I think you'd be more comfortable over at that place.
Weenie Hut Juniors? Are you saying I belong at Weenie Hut Juniors?
Oh no, sorry. I was actually pointing to the place next to it.
Super Weenie Hut Juniors?
Yeah, unless you think you're tough enough to fight me.
Trips on his way to the back of the line, spilling about 2152 all over the pavement. So he goes back to the base sad as hell, where the president has to convince him personally to go back to the OSS, and his sister just happens to be missing, leading Juni to this top secret facility, where he gets to this beautiful Spy Kids set. But look at this whole set, this shit looks cool as hell. Early 2000s future tech always had the best design. Now Juni gets informed on the objective of the mission. The toy maker has created a game that traps children's mind upon reaching level 5, so he can escape his prison in cyberspace. Juni's mission being to rescue his sister and shut down the game. And for some reason, the only way to do that is to use full dive gear to go inside of the game. He gets spit out in a 1-for-1 replica of Toontown. Wait, the frogs aren't wearing suits. Whole different game. They stroll right past Juni to harass some guy trying to pick up his schmeckles, but these must be like low-level goblins because they get reverse jumped in seconds. He tries to hop on one of these toes to use the pogo like a fast travel, but it ends up somehow being a player, and this nigga slimes him by using a mechanical arm to drop him into a sewer, shaving a smooth life point off the top. He gets reintroduced to the only 2 characters he just met and try to get some information about how to get to level 5 from them, but they hit him with a "nah, little bro, that's not how that works," and tells him to jump on this random target to get sent to the moon, losing yet another life point. The OSS gives him options of who he can bring in to assist him in the game, and his first choice is the guy who hasn't walked in decades. So the minute he gets legs, he gets distracted and wanders off.
First time trying a cigarette, let's chase the buzz.
I'm fucking tweaking! I'm fucking tweaking!
Forcing him to continue on into this robot fight club, where they put him in this Pacific Rim mech before he can get a word off, and tells him to slap box this bitch to the death. Juni gets knocked around, absolutely manhandled, slimed out at every given opportunity. She makes a generational choke because in the last round clutch up, he just spins the joystick in a clockwise motion, cause her to get dizzy and pass out like a Looney Tunes character. She's dog water, goddamn scrub. But little does Juni know, this is all to the toy maker's plan. He'd been spying on him this entire time with lotion on his shit, having elaborate conversations with clones of himself. And I think Sylvester Stallone was always meant to be a Disney villain. After winning the robot fight, they flung Juni back to Earth, where he links up with the only 3 people in the entire server, and is convinced to participate in a death race to prove he's the guy, despite him telling them that he's not that guy.
Not the guy.
But after giving this girl in purple another L, Juni takes some advice from the same guys who just slimed him out by telling him to jump to the moon, making him hit this Donkey Kong maneuver on the cart.
Hey, Red! Give me a hand! How about a foot?
Same guy gets knocked off course and snakes his own mans for a vehicle, while Juni's grandpa comes in clutch to hijack this lame's bike. Look at how he gripped this kid off the Yamaha.
I can't get enough.
Back with another milk.
After this big drop, Red slides around with this stolen vehicle, trying to take Juni out once again with his boxing glove. But he attaches that hoe to the bike, drags his bike for like a mile and a half, and then cuts that bitch. Flies through the pipe of doom before reaching this cliff, where he's rammed off an edge, losing another life point in the process. And he catches a bike out of the air to get to the final stretch. Why didn't they drop like a tie-in game to this movie or something? This shit looks fun as hell. Give me an RPG type game with death races like this, bro. Absolutely missed opportunity. So Purple comes back yet again to harass Juni in this construction vehicle, basically dismantles the bike while he's still driving it. But Juni is just apparently canonically him. Rides to the finish line on only a hubcap, cheeses for the camera, and as soon as a female was in the general vicinity, he started calling himself that guy.
The guy. Yeah, yeah!
quickly set out for the next level to find his sister, where they stumble into the programmers, dressed like fucking Prada villains. But Gramps does what he do best and exposes these niggas for being office frauds. Whole time Toymaker is spazzing out in his room right now because Juni is not making enough progress despite being handed W's back to back. So after his clones argue it out behind his back, he decides to give Juni a 1-up, which he gives to the obvious honey trap. There's no way she's not placed here as a double, if not triple agent, and head to the next challenge to go retrieve his sister. The challenge being to lightsaber battle the strongest member of the team, who gives his sad ass Sasuke backstory. A more important aspect is that he has that dog in him. So he watches Juni in pure lance to lance combat, breaks out the extendo grip rod, and then knocks the life points out of this nigga until he's at like 0.5. That wind up was devious. This shit had to be personal. But before he can be absolutely violated by this special move, at the last second Demetra tags him out and switches places with him in the fight, causing her to get blicked down instead. And remember, she had more life points than Juni, so she could have actually fought. How did she get cooked immediately? But this victory brings them to level 4, where they immediately find Carmen via telepathy. After they link up, they beeline towards the 5th level, and during this walk, she reveals a key lore drop.
Juni, the Toymaker's the guy who put Grandpa in the wheelchair 30 years ago.
So this whole plot seems to be a revenge scheme. Sylvester Stallone should really play more psychotic villains. They take the only way through level 5 via lava surfing. But when the OSS realizes that the Grandpa and the Toymaker have a connection, because somehow they didn't know that information, fucking straight up corporate incompetence, they decide that they might as well abort the entire mission and risk children being trapped in the game to mitigate even the slight chance of the Toymaker being released. And to that end, they choose to drown the kids in lava with a giant magma creature. I've been wanting to make a video on the worst corporations in fiction for a while, and they might have to be on the scoreboard for the international child soldiers alone, honestly. Turns out getting drowned with lava was the actual answer to the level though, as the lava just seems to be orange Fanta, with an underwater cave having the entrance to level 5. Now, as soon as these niggas are safe and warm, they start pressing Juni on whether he's really him or not. And I forgot how with the shits Carmen was, cause she was really about to up the gauntlet on that until the real guy pulls up out of absolutely nowhere. Gang must have been waiting around for the perfect ray of light to make his entrance. Slides in like a prophet, telling the gang that they can get through any trial and tribulation. And look how everybody team kneels as soon as he starts talking, bro. I'm inclined to think this is actually him. I gotta think it's intentional that they gave him the best music for the whole soundtrack. Blast the entire door open with sheer aura. Swag walks into the room ready to take on any challenge.
Not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay.
Okay?
Are you?
Absolutely.
Out of nowhere, Demetria shows up with a solution to the whole floor, which makes Carmen suspicious as hell. And when she goes up to confirm her theory, it turns out she was a hologram the entire time. How do you get catfished by a clanker the whole movie? Figuring it out gives him a Sylvester Stallone jump scare, activating the trap to keep them in the game world while the Toymaker escapes. Demetria sacrifices her coded life to turn off the game. All 3 of these guys give Carmen their email addresses because they're just trying to bag anything in sight. And literally minutes after they exit the game portal, the OSS has tracked all 3 of them down and brought them right to this room within the span of like 2 to 3 minutes. How much reach do these niggas have? Turns out they are lame as hell in the real world, as he flexes the fact that he's a child soldier. But he gets cut off when they inform him that the Toymaker escaped the game anyway. Apparently Grandpa let the dog out, so they send their best agent Juni out onto the scene, where Carmen gives him some 3D glasses, the only way you can actually see what's happening. Guess we're operating on cursed energy logic. They deem the situation too much for the tag team duo to handle, and they call in the entire Cortez family tree. They cut to their dad in something that is definitely not a fucking lab, and they build this shit up for like 2 minutes of him really locked in onto this experiment, letting the audience know this is the most important experiment to mankind's history.
Mr. Cortez, your children called. Some sort of emergency?
He uses his rocket loafers to fly at supersonic speeds over to the situation. Starts knocking bolts off of Iron Giant with his bare hands. Spy Kids power scaling is absolutely insane. They have their grandma running up this robot's leg to run a fade. Honestly, I thought Danny Trejo could just wipe these niggas all at once by himself. But Juni calls in every villain from all the past movies to handle the other robots, while the grandpa just flies up to the Toymaker to talk no jutsu him out of destroying the city. He hits nigga with the emotional juke of the century.
Your mistake cost me my legs. I can't walk on the beach with my wife. I miss my daughter's birth and wedding.
Guilt tripping him for paralyzing him from the waist down, and then forgiving bro in the same sentence.
Now, let me tell you all the good things that came of it.
Causing Gang to drop his entire crusade because all he wanted to do was make a game where everyone got a second chance. And the moral of the story
it's
is
not whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game.
Besides that, like, subscribe, and
I saw my paycheck in cursive, unworthy. Keys in a VIP, around my fashion. I tell her watch her tone, baby.
You already know I'm obsessed with it. I can't get enough.